be. Yeah, I like that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, let me see if I can give you. Is there anybody here, so I can help you, and maybe I don't have to go over some of the history. Anybody here, or is there anybody here who's familiar at all with this story? Let me just see by showing of hands. Amen. Amen. Familiar with this story. I do believe that this story, and the way God will speak to me today, that this story is geared in particular for the youth. This will help any youth or every youth that some people would call different, odd, strange, weird. Because just because you're different doesn't mean that you're strange. Just because people don't understand that you don't dance to the beat that they're playing, it doesn't mean that you are the weird one. Perhaps they're the weird one. Perhaps they're the one that's strange or odd. And also, it is for the believer. To be a Christian today in this world, to be a committed Christian today in this world, you're laughed at, you're scorned, you're ridiculed, you're talked about. And if you tell some people that you love Jesus and you are on your way to church on a Friday night, they want to know what's wrong with you. Well, I want to know what's wrong with you.
Amen.
You don't love God. What's wrong with you? But dancing to a different beat. So let me see if I can set the stage real quick, and then hopefully we'll give you a few things that you can hang your hat on, and then we'll move. By way of introduction, I had an introduction, but since Letitia and David went that way, so I'm going to use your prayer, your answering to our call as our introduction, as my introduction. Every church has its ways or its rules and regulations. There are not too many churches that would call people from the audience and have them pray for their church or their people during the time of the congregational prayer. Right. But since we are dancing to a different beat, all right. You don't know who we might call.
Right.
And if you don't know how to pray, all you have to do is what the disciples did. You can ask Jesus or go into his word, and his word will show you how to pray, or you can ask me and we'll teach you how to pray. But you better be ready any and every Sunday morning, because we don't know who we gonna call.
Amen.
All right.
Amen.
And if you are not mature enough, or if you're just scared to mount the podium and speak into the mic, then you're gonna have to get over those fears real quickly.
All right.
Because we dare to be different here at the Unity Baptist Church. Right. So since we dance to a different beat, we'll call David, we'll call Fabian, we'll call Miss Jackson or Mr. Jackson. We'll call Letitia, we'll call Renee. And it is your job to be ready at any moment, because you never know when your name might be called.
All right.
Because we're dancing to a different beat. And who we're listening to is the voice of God. And if God decides to call you, then it's God that's summoning you. Right. And like King Nebuchadnezzar, and we can move into the story. King Nebuchadnezzar summons all of the officers. Oh yeah, this would be a good officer day. And all of the people that was in charge. Because see, if the people that's in charge bow down, guess what's gonna happen to the people that follow the people in charge? They gonna bow down. So he called me. He said, listen, let me just set the stage real quick about Nebuchadnezzar, because maybe you don't know anything about him. Nebuchadnezzar was one of the most powerful king of all time. Right. I mean, of all time. He didn't just rule a nation. Nebuchadnezzar actually ruled the world. The entire world. it's about 600 years prior to Christ coming. The nation of Israel, in particular Judah, sinned against God as they would normally do. And when you sin against God, God normally, rather than chastising you himself, dispatching the death angel, he would send somebody or some mean ruler, or he would set them up that he might teach you a lesson. You know, God is still in the lesson teaching business. So God set up Nebuchadnezzar that he might teach Judah a lesson. So what he did, he said, Nebuchadnezzar, you are nobody right now, but pretty soon you're going to have a name that is going to be feared, because I'm going to set you up. And the only reason why I'm setting you up, that you might go over there and teach the people a lesson. And based upon that, Nebuchadnezzar became a feared king. But what happens when God sets you up and God bless you? You begin to think that you can now stand in the place of God. But I don't care where you came from and how high your castle has become. You will never be equal to God.
Right. Amen.
Never. But Nebuchadnezzar had this dream. Y'all, I'm not going too fast for you, right? He had this. First of all, when he did it, he went in there and he took what we call the choice selection of young people. And let me say, I wish I could teach this right. Young people, listen to me good. That if you are skilled and you have something that you can offer, there are going to be people that is going to seek after you. Can I help somebody here? You better get some in your head. If you got enough in your head, if you got enough education, enough skill, enough a work ethic, you don't have to look for a job. They'll look for you.
Yeah. All right.
So Nebuchadnezzar, when he went in there, he said, what I need you to do, I need you to take out the treasures and the treasures. So they took out the treasures, the golden cups and plates, and they brought them over to where he held his palace, and they took out those who had potential, and out of the people that he took these 4 young guys. He took Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and he trained them in the things of the Chaldean language and behavior. So you got to read the story. It's beautiful. And it's not hard to understand. When you get to the latter part, it becomes a little more difficult. And so he began to train them. And Daniel, exceeded or excelled because God was with him.
Right. That is.
He even excelled. Now Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego, there wasn't no slouches, but Daniel excelled over them simply because of God. And Daniel was a dream interpreter. And he told a dream about Nebuchadnezzar and this image of gold, and Nebuchadnezzar has threatened to kill all the astrologers and all the magicians until Daniel came and interpreted the dream. And after he interpreted the dream, Daniel became a political giant in the kingdom. But what Daniel did, I hope I'm not going too bad. Daniel brought his boys with him. Can I help somebody here? Don't become successful and leave family behind.
Come on now. All right.
He said, look, I'll take this position based on this condition. I got to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego with me. And he did. And after Daniel interpreted the dream, Nebuchadnezzar rewarded him with possession and a position. But then later on, Nebuchadnezzar became so big, his name was so feared, he decided he should be worshipped.
All right.
He decided, so he made this golden image. Y'all praying with me, right? 60 feet tall. And 60 feet tall, I don't care where you are, it would be recognizable. Right. A golden image. And it's interesting that he made a golden image, because when you read, Daniel said that you had this dream about this gold head, this body of brass, and this feet of clay. And Nebuchadnezzar got the big head. And some folks who don't have nothing, they still got the big head. Don't have a pot, they ain't no window to throw it out of. But they got the big head.
All right. How about that? All right.
Yeah. And so he decided, I'm going to build this statue. And what he did, he said, at the sound, I'm just going to read it. I like the way it sounds. He said, call all of these officers. And this is what I want you to do. At the sound of the cornet, the flute, and I wonder why he used all these instruments, because I believe that if you don't understand the sound of one, you certainly don't understand the sound of another. There are some of these things that just differ, because I don't know I can't hear music like some people can hear music, but I know one thing, I know the difference between a harp and a flute.
All right.
So he said, yeah, I like that. So he said, at the sound of the cornet, the flute, the harp, the sackbut, the psaltery, and all kinds of music,